So, gonna record until my thing gives out. Until my memory. That's my gasoline. Anyways, I'm gonna record until my memory gives out or the video ends. Because, it's gonna be an abrupt end, regardless. So, if you guys like the video, or, if you have something to say or like the video, don't like the video, down there, you know what to do. I'm gonna go ahead and get us started. I'm gonna put you guys in my neck here because I freaking want to. And plus you guys will have better sound quality. I mean, of course you're gonna hear the car passing by every once in a while, but that's just how it is. So, this is a whole new what if. This is actually my 100 subscriber special. I recorded this at 76 subscribers, so all that needs to be done by the time I hit 100 is upload it. Just like that. Car. So, 100 subscriber special what if. Oh yes, and I'll be continuing this series quite heavily if I can. Ooh, a bird. So, yes, this what if, and I have in mind. What if Izuku was a Soul Reaper? As in the one from Bleach. Yep. So let's begin, shall we? Ooh, big stick. So let's begin, shall we? Izuku. I'm going to change something. Before we actually get started, though, I'm going to change a few things about his family. Masashi, Inko, they stay the same. Except Inko, little special something about her past. We will diverge into that later, but until then, yeah. Hello. Person walking by. Give me a second. And we continue. Izuku. He's born. And yeah, from a very young age, he could see a lot of stuff. Lots of stuff. Specifically ghosts. And, infuriating them, well, turns out bad for people. So, he's the one who soothes them. And he often does a really good job at it. Okay, being able to see ghosts and instances and other things. All the other kids make fun of him because they all think he's crazy or dumb or something. So, yeah, things are pretty much commonly like this. And then, of course, dealing with Bakugo, he had to learn how to fight, or at least defend himself. At least. But Jinko, sometimes he'd come home with bruises. And his mother would be like, "What's all this about?" He'd say, "Oh, I fell down some stairs at school." She says, "There are no stairs at the elementary school. What happened?" Izuku, realizing, oh crap, yeah, one of my friends beat me up. She says, okay. So, she teaches him how to defend himself. Masashi, of course, is off doing something. Doing his thing in America. While on the other hand, he's here just... Ooh, that's a big doge. Anyways, yeah, Masashi, he's doing his thing in America. Bringing money into to the home to make sure they can even have a home. And, well, yeah, Izuku, he's learning to defend himself. And, well, one day he's about, actually, let's say by the time he's 13. He's 13, some dude goes by the name Kenpachi. He shows up and says to Inko, "Kenpachi, where have you been?" She says, "It's Inko. And here, raising a child. You are needed." She goes, "What happened?" "There's a whole new deal with the Quincy's." She says, "I have no one to look after my son." He says, "Your son can't see us, correct?" She looks at him. Izuku says, "Sir, who are you?" Catching this Kenpachi off guard. He looks at him and says, "You can see me." He says, "Yeah, and you look weird." Inko's naturally just at. Kenpachi, he's like, "Why? Why must you hurt me in this way, child? I will hurt you with my sword if you say such words again." Inko, naturally, she's dying of laughter. Kenpachi, he's embarrassed. Izuku's still confused. Izuku, he says, "Why do you need my mom?" He says, "How old are you? Like 12, 13? Izuku says, 13, yeah. Definitely have some spiritual pressure. As soon as Inko hears spiritual pressure, she says, "Oh, not no, but oh, hell no. He's not going." Kenpachi goes, "Why not?" And Inko just says, "Just no. Not no, but oh, hell no. He is not going. We're talking about the Quincy's, correct?" He says, "Yeah. We kind of need every man we can get." She says, "No, he's not even a man yet. He's still a child." Adolescent. Maybe help him get some experience under his belt. She says, No, he's not going. Maybe you should let the child decide. I mean, he is a male after all." Izuku says, "Women are just as capable of making decisions." Kenpachi looks at him and says, "You sure about that?" He says, "Yup. A woman can fight a war just as well as a man, and a man can wash a dish just as well as a woman." Kenpachi, he's a little irritated that Izuku just made these statements. Izuku says, "And what exactly are you talking about?" He says, "The amount of reishi you have, it's definitely interesting, especially given who your mother is." Am I right? Looking at Inko and says, "Kenpachi." She says, "No, Kenpachi. You are not taking him." He says, What's a Kenpachi? Who is that? What is that?" He says, "That's the name of the 11th Division's captain. No matter who, no matter what, no matter why. It's always will be Kenpachi." He says, "Wait, division? What? You mean military?" He says, "Something of the sort. More of a samurai military, but yes, kind of." am I even old enough? He says, in all honesty, you probably missed out on a lot of training, kid. And Inko says, no, 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 no. I don't care who is training him. He is not going. Kenpachi looks at Inko and says, what about him? Him? You mean as in? He says, oh yeah. She says, hell no, not even him. Kenpachi goes, are you doubting his ability? Inko says, no, I'm not doubting his ability. I'm doubting my son's ability. Though he is strong, and he may be able to see things others can't. But he's not ready for that. Kenpachi goes, if he can see them, he's more than ready. Pulls out a more modern phone this time. It's, what do you mean? So, pulls out a more modern phone and says, yeah, I'm bringing back 2 contacts. Soul Reaper. What's your name, kid? Pointing at Izuku. He says, Izuku? He says, Kenpachi. And her son, Izuku. Naturally, Inko is a little, she is pissed. It's cemented. He's going. Or else things will happen if not the proper amount that's said is, I'm not sure if that's part of canon, but there's no turning back now. Izuku is in. So, Kenpachi says, alright kid, looks like you're about to get your first look at Soul Society. He says, what's Soul Society? You'll see. Izuku, well, naturally, Izuku is just, fascinated. By the tunnel, by the entrance gate, through the entrance gate, and into Soul Society itself. Yeah, he can feel his reishi. He can actually feel like his inner self-energy is rising, just being here. He feels faster, stronger, hell, even a little smarter than he already was. And this kid is freaking smart. So, as they're going through Soul Society, a lot of the older soldiers, seeing Inko, they all stand to attention. She's, uses her hand, flicks it downwards. They all sit back down to do their thing. She's obviously embarrassed to be here. Oh, Big Dojangry. So, Izuku, he's searching around. All of a sudden, he hears a voice from behind him. Inko! Another dude in a dark suit, he's running up and says, Inko, I heard about the news. What's going on? She says, oh my God. Is it really that bad? He says, apparently. If they're pulling you in, apparently. So, they discuss things over. The mysterious man, brown hair, he kind of looks at Izuku, looks him up and down, and says, that's him? I thought you would have had him a little more trained. She says, yeah, but there was really no threat. Goes think the threats were practically just other ghosts, not even hollows. Izuku goes, well, this man goes, huh, poor kid. Who's going to be training him? And then the guy known as Kenpachi, he says, that is going to the Grand Master. The mysterious man looks at Kenpachi and says, whoa, you sure he's ready for that kind of training? If that kid is, Kenpachi goes, if that kid is to be ready by the time we need to move out, he's gonna need it. So, Inko says, you guys are dead set on this, aren't you? Kenpachi and the mysterious man both say, well, Kenpachi says, yes, we do. So, Kenpachi says, I'll take him. Inko says, no, I'll take him. Inko, she walks up to what looks like to be the main castle. Be like a palace, an old school palace. And Inko is naturally saying, you know, she's telling him, keep your head down, be respectful, be very respectful. These are old people. Well, he's like, okay. Well, Izuku is. Izuku, you know, he gets there. You know, he sees a big old circle council looking thing. A dude in a swivel chair. He seems to be arguing with the people with their faces covered. You know, and hearing his arguments, he's obviously very anti-war. And, well, Izuku, noticing this older guy, you know, he has spiky hair, it's obviously gray. You know, obviously got scars. But, you know, there's little flakes of orange in his hair. You know, like little bits of orange. The older guy, he stops, looks at the kid, makes eye contact for a solid 5 seconds. Izuku can't exactly sense Reishi, so he doesn't know exactly what scale he's on compared to these people. He's looking him up and down, looks at the woman next to him, and sees, you know, Inko. Says Kenpachi. She says Inko. Inko, noted. What have you come for? She says, the current one has decided to pull me and my kid in. He says, God. You know, the older guy, he's, you know, puts his hand to his forehead, is like, God damn it. You know, something, he looks at the kid for a second and says, what's your name? Izuku goes, Izuku Midoriya. Midoriya. Huh. The son of a Kenpachi and a Midoriya. Interesting. Alright. Everyone is dismissed. I need to talk with these two for a minute. Everyone, you know, they have their little face masks. Put them on, get up and leave. I'm not sure if they actually have those, but no, actually no. This guy gets up and he says, meeting dismissed. I have other business to take care of. he walks up and says, Inko, you are aware of the situation, correct? She says, barely. This asshole, pointing at Kenpachi, the current one, she says, he decided it was a good idea to grab me. He says, it really was. Trust me. And he looks at Izuku and says, a Kenpachi and a Midoriya. Damn. He says, why have you come here? Kenpachi goes, well, we were hoping you could train the youngster. Train him. Why can't he be trained by you? Or any of you? Because our training methods are more sluggish and slower than yours. He says, the reason I was only young then. And Kenpachi goes, and he's young now. Not as old as I was when I started. If it's really desperate enough, we're having to use children. Something seems to come back to him for a second and says, anyways, if we're desperate enough to use children, we are in serious shit. I'll train them. But only for the next week. His training starts now. Boy, follow me. The older guy leads Izuku to a place and says, he's looking at him for a good solid second. He's nodding as he's beginning to climb a ladder. He pulls out a case. And it has Kurosaki engraved on it. It's a big case. Okay, he opens it up. Big ass sword. Like, big ass sword. No hilt. Well, I mean, it has a hilt. But it's lacking a handle. It's got the tang, obviously, but lacking the gripping part of the handle. He's looking it over. Alright, kid. Your training begins now. He lunges at him. The blade barely pierces his skin. Izuku, when he wakes up, he's noticed he's got something in his hand. He looks at it. It's a sword. And he noticed it's kind of a longer sword than what he had expected. A little bit wider too. Not exactly humongous like this guy's, but it's pretty big. He says, what? What's going on? Why do I have a sword all of a sudden? He says, I just activated your Soul Reaper abilities. And, well, that's the beginning of the training. Let's go. Unsheath your sword. And put your sword away. Put it in this sheath there. Izuku sheathed the sword. And Izuku is... Izuku is just... Well, I can't exactly come up with anything right now. Let me think. Yeah. They head to this place. Looks like a barren wasteland. They're having to slide down an old ladder. This old guy, he just drops down. Izuku, he slides down the ladder. Almost breaking it on the way down. Seeing this room, he's like, what's going on? Why do the walls look like the sky? He says, I never really thought of that. Anyways, begin. As he begins sparring with him. And just to summarize the week, it progressively got harder and harder. Izuku, having to constantly evolve to the evolving fighting styles of this older guy. This old dude, Izuku didn't expect him to move so fast and be so strong. So Izuku, he starts trying to move just as fast and just as hard, but nothing. So Izuku is just dumbfounded. How, well, about in the middle of the week, it's a 4-hour rest until he's constantly fighting again. He got something to eat and stuff, something to drink. Izuku, he was experiencing hunger pangs about 3 days in, but this is about 4 days in, so he doesn't feel it much. The older gentleman says, eat very little. Izuku says, but why? I'm so hungry. He says, your starvation pangs shouldn't be as bad as they were yesterday. You should be fine. Just eat very little. He says, okay. Eats a small tray of rice and pork. Has a solid liter of water. It's right back to fighting. Constantly. To Izuku, seems that he's always staying at the same speed and the same strength. To him. So, Izuku, by the time he comes out, he doesn't even realize his own strength. He is pretty strong. Like, I don't know, 1/8 of what Ichigo was in about season 2. The time they went to go save Ryuko, I think. Yeah, that's her name, Ryuko. Anyways, I'm going to end it there, actually. Because, I'm at the workplace. And, well, me talking about this weird stuff, not going to take so well around here. Later.